Welcome to Hardly Initiated's late night special. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, here again with my co-host, Ryan Ketchens.
Yo, this is crazy because this is the first time before we ever started that we already got members joining the membership. So I'm excited about this one.
Yes, we got the chat going crazy. The members have joined. It's really beautiful to see it happening, how it's going down, y'all. We love seeing a family grow. We love seeing y'all joining the membership. But listen, today is a special treat because today we are talking about signs that you might have some commitment issues. Y'all scared of commitment? This one here is for you. And ladies, don't stray away. All right. This one here is for you too. Okay. The fellas, they say the fellas is the one that be scared.
Listen, before we introduce these ladies, I'm not sure if y'all already seen this one, but we dropped the episode a few weeks ago. It was how to know if a man is serious about you.
Ooh.
So I think the ladies in general, because my fellows kind of run away from this episode, but I think the ladies in general really was putting me and Tyshawn on the hot seat. Yeah. So we had to bring them back, but this time we told them they are not allowed to coach me and Ty, just y'all.
And listen, if y'all do not know, we are here with some of the most amazing master teachers, master coaches, dating experts in the space. We are in here today with Dr. Nicole and Miss Crystal. Welcome back to Hardly Initiated.
Thank you.
They let us come back. Look at that.
Right. I thought we were banned.
Me too.
Y'all try to dig in a little bit too deep last episode.
Yeah. For y'all who have not watched, y'all go ahead and check it out. We'll make sure we link it somewhere in the bottom of the description.
It's in the description now. It's in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, watch it after this one. But because right now you got to tune into this one. This is going to be very special.
Yes, y'all, because right now we are talking about signs that you are afraid of commitment. It's going to be a phenomenal show. But first, I'm going to let Ryan get these announcements to the people so y'all can know we got coming.
So really quick, guys, because I want to get to this because we got something very special coming up at the hour mark. It's official. We finally got the call-in segment right.
Woo!
So we actually going to open up. Yes. So this thing, this
get
time
your cell phones
it's
ready.
No plan. It's literally the first person call in. We are going to take those calls so you can talk to these beautiful ladies and they can really game you up along with me and Tyshawn as well.
Yes.
But real quick, guys, YouTube has a...
Wait, producer says hold on. Producer says pause. What we saying? What we got?
No, we still live. So this is the thing. We still good. We still good, Lana. You got to figure it out.
We good.
But this is the thing, guys. Lana just threw me off big time. But YouTube has a special algorithm in place. So within the first 30 minutes, the more likes we get, the more people will actually get an opportunity to join this video. So guys, please hit that like button before we get started. And we already got over 135 people in here.
Wow.
But I got my phone pulled out because we got so many members. We got about 230 members now. So shout out to Terry Allen, Nora Steve, Teresa Jones. I am Miss Sandra. It's a Rosy Life. And shout out to Arfraha McLeod and Tiffany Harris, who just recently joined the membership. And this is the thing, guys, you will see like a turquoise star. That because right now, whoever has the turquoise star is really the most lit members we got because this is the people who've been with us the longest.
That's a fact.
The longest you could have been with us is 2 months. The membership has only been going for 2 months. But shout out to Noel, shout out to Cindy, Gina, Clarity, Jasmina, and Sheila, to name just a few. And guys, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm gonna go ahead and let Tyshawn get us kicked off.
Yes, actually, Ryan, man, you actually put together something very special here for us because this one is going to be a little bit of a research-based episode when we talking about this fear of commitment. So, kind of walk us through where you got this information from.
Okay, so what I wanted to do, guys, I wanted to bring a bit of empirical research to this conversation.
Yes.
I mean, especially we got the doctors here. We got experts here, right? So I did a little bit of research on my own, and I found that as of 2022, okay, Pew Research Study. Now, this is a credible source. All right, they do research, empirical research with thousands of people, right? And what they have found is that 30% of U.S. adults are neither married or living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. All right. So basically, this research article states that nearly half of all young adults are single. Now, I thought that was pretty troublesome, right? Because there's a lot of people looking for relationships. So, ladies, what I want to do is present to you what we found to be the top 5 reasons that people are afraid of commitment. And I just want to get you guys feedback and let me know if this is accurate. And if it's not, you kind of let me know what might fit in better. Okay.
Okay.
So according to insider.com, these are the top 5 reasons of a fear of commitment. First, the fear of vulnerability.
Mhm.
All right, I might qualify for that one. 2,
Might.
the fear of loss of freedom. Ooh,
Mhm.
that's a
Ooh,
good one.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a real one right there.
3, the fear of rejection.
Mhm.
That's not something possible for me and Tyshawn, right?
Mm.
4, the fear of failure, and 5, trust issues,
Mm.
which I think all the ladies have trust issues.
Mhm.
So, what do you guys think about that top 5? Is that fairly accurate?
I would say so. And what stood out to me was each one of them started with fear.
Mm.
Fear is the number one reason, right? It's fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability. But the truth is, the root of it is fear.
Mm.
Why are we so scared? I mean, because when you think about this, a few generations back, I mean, you know, grandma, they was jumping the broom right after high school.
Mm.
They was doing it, right? No money. I don't even know. I mean, could a man even have a plan for real at 18? Like, I mean, they was really figuring it out together.
Mhm.
But we got a lot of these fears,
Mhm.
right? Now that have
Mhm.
popped up. Why is that?
A lot of times it's connected to unrealistic expectations. So you'll hear people now when they go through their list, the list is incredibly long. Like
Mm.
you want your partner to meet every possible need there is on the planet Earth.
Mm.
They're just another person.
It's called standards. It's called standards.
Boundaries.
Mm.
Dr.
Not
Nicole.
called standards, not called boundaries. It's called an exorbitant list where you feel the other person is supposed to meet every single need that you have.
Mm.
And no person can meet every single need that you have.
Mm.
So, you know, we kind of got to look at how often we're trying to respond as to not experience something that we don't want, but that is controlling all of our decisions.
And then I think, it's what the other thing that's interesting about that study is it's US based,
Right.
right? You look outside of the United States and other countries where arranged marriages,
Yep.
right, take place, you don't see the same divorce rates because they are cultured to do the work because divorce is not an option.
Mm. Mm. You might trigger somebody saying divorce is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
You might trigger. So think about that. How does that? That's just crazy to think. Somebody else can find a man for you and you not get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And we looking for ourselves and it ain't working.
Right.
How does that happen?
Criteria is very different. though.
Exactly.
When you look at a lot of other countries, they're talking about families coming together and aligning. They're talking about legacy. They're talking about character matching, right?
Mhm.
So that they continue the conversation of lineage.
Mm.
They don't have a list with you got to be 6'2".
And make 6 figures.
Mm.
And be
Yeah.
That 6-figure one is a big
handsome
one.
Uh-huh.
and be handsome according to all of these criteria and have muscles and
Mhm.
that's not the list.
Yeah.
They're looking at generational wealth. They're looking at how does this carry our family name.
And the community is invested in keeping this couple together. They have living examples of how to make it work. And their parents are committed because everyone is invested in the success of that relationship. So you can't run to your mom and complain about your husband and she say, leave your husband. She's going to tell you, go home and work it out. Right. Or vice versa. So the community is invested. We don't have that community here in the United States. It's too easy for the marital structure to break down. We spend more time and money on divorces than we do on premarital education, making sure that you're actually ready. We don't even a lot of times introduce the person that we are thinking about marrying to our community to get their buy-in and feedback. It's our decision. Right.
That's a good one.
We
right.
really don't have a community, you know. And that's another. I mean, and don't talk about we spend more time and money on the actual wedding itself than all the things it takes to have a successful marriage after the wedding.
Exactly.
So you are 100% correct. And before because I want to go into each one of those 5 things,
Yeah.
but I think you brought up a really, really good point with this list.
Yeah.
This list, this delusional list, this list that is not realistic and unrealistic. And, you know, I want to find that healthy, you know, boundary between having standards and being unrealistic.
Mhm.
How do we identify the difference between the two? Just give me an idea so I know I'm tripping a little bit. For the person that got that, you know, Santa's list of gifts, how do they know?
So even with what Crystal was talking about with community, right? Often we want to choose people, and it's very interesting. We don't want to have our tribe to really vet the person because we don't want them to not like the person. So we create
The
a
narrative.
caricature of the person so that everybody's in because we don't want them to not like them. That's the worst thing. Your
Mhm.
community can see what you can't see. So you don't need to package the person. You just need to introduce the person and let the process walk itself out. If your brother cannot talk to the guy that you're dating, something is wrong.
Mhm.
If your uncle cannot talk to the young lady that you're dating, something is wrong. Don't keep the person from your community. Pull them in and see what your community sees.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times in other places, what they're looking at is character,
Yeah.
values. Do our values align? We're looking at things that are a lot more superficial. And when the honeymoon is over, they don't stand up over time.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with the list, Tyshawn. We actually encourage our ladies in our community to make a list of 100 things you want in a partner,
You
in a
know, you
relationship.
get these ladies
100.
100 things.
100.
There's
you know
more.
why?
There's more.
Oh my God.
Because after like the first 20, superficial things get off your list. Then you really have to start thinking, how do I want this person to communicate? How do I want them to resolve conflict?
Yep.
How do I want to, what do I see them as a father, as a friend?
So the way the list gives more depth on the back end.
Yes.
So the list
Wow.
is superficial at the top.
Yes,
Usually.
absolutely.
That's
Usually,
crazy.
But if you're forced to think of 100 things you want, you have to really start thinking past the superficial. You got to go deep. How do I want them to interact with my family, my friends? What does it look like when they come to the barbecue?
Mm.
Right? What does it look like when we have illness in our family? How do we bond together and support? Think about those things. Go a little deeper past how much they make and how they look. Makes a big difference.
Yeah. I could see how we try to create this character and package. When I think about that, you know what I think of? I think of like somebody coming in for an interview process and the hiring manager, instead of properly introducing this new potential hire to the company, they just kind of start adding things on their resume or giving this person additional compliments they may not have earned to earn the trust of the other employees, to embellish what they think about this person, which is dangerous for the company as a whole.
Yeah.
If we bring in somebody like that, potentially unqualified, into the company, into the family. But I can see how that can happen because I'm even thinking about my family. And oh Lord, please, I hope nobody listen. Because I just know that different people could be at different places in the family. And the reality of the situation is you're going to attract where you are. So if the rest of the family, you might perceive them to be up here and you quite right here, and you got a guy that you know ain't really where your family might be, they're gonna side eye this dude because of the expectation of your family, you might be thinking, okay, let me kind of, well, we say the younger generation, let me cap a little bit
Mm.
about who this person is
Mhm.
and really even almost hide this person, which I've experienced a bit of this in my family, by the way,
Mhm.
because you know what your people gonna say. Like you kind of know what they gonna say. And some people might be dating somebody you know your family won't approve of.
Mhm.
Like you know they're not gonna get the respect of what's going down. And instead of you facing that reality and probably getting that hard truth that this dude here ain't got no vision, ain't got no plan, this dude is lost, this dude is not the one. Instead of you hearing what you know you probably need to hear, you just create this false reality around this man.
But that takes humility. That takes humility to know that I don't have all the answers and that I can't see everything. And that what's the old saying? Love is blind, friends close their eyes. Right? So humility says, I may not see everything, and you are in my community because I trust you, I love you. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know what you think, and I value your opinion. And if you say to me, this person has no vision, now that doesn't mean your word is 100% bond, but now I need to start. I like that you said interviews, right?
Yeah.
Like I like that you took it to the job interview. Has anybody ever been in a situational job interview?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where
of
they're not
course.
just asking you a question, they're asking you, how would you react in this situation? And
Mhm.
what would be right? So I think we need to take it another level. So when you receive that feedback from trusted people in your community, then you need to start posing questions to the person to gather additional facts and evidence to see how they would respond, to see in this situation, what would be your course of action? How will you
Yeah.
handle this?
And a lot of times you date the same person over and over again because you never let your community meet them.
I and she.
Mm.
I've been there.
I'm glad that you said that because we had one of our members. She dropped a chat in here. Celestine. Shout out to Celestine. She said she asked this question, which it sounds like y'all are addressing now, but she basically says, "What does it matter what the family thinks? You should be concerned about the person you're in covenant with."
Mm.
So in other countries, often families are marrying one another. It is very strange to think that you are going to raise your kids by yourself. You are going to have a successful marriage by yourself. In every other aspect of your life, you need other people.
Facts.
You need community, whether that's career, leadership, business, whatever that is, you need other people. But in a marriage, you don't need anybody.
Mhm.
It's a long run, it's not a sprint. So when you're dating, it makes sense to let other people that you trust collect data on the people that you're collecting data on.
Now,
I like that.
now, if your family is not trusted, cannot be trusted,
Right.
That's different.
then that's different. If you've got unhealed dysfunction going on in your family, that's different. But if you have a functional family and
Yeah.
a strong community, you're going to need them.
And if you have what Crystal is saying, your family is dysfunctional, but you don't have anybody else to proxy, that's letting you know trauma has too much room in your life. Because if
Absolutely.
your birth family is challenged, toxic, not mature, not healthy, but then you don't have family that you've chosen that
Mhm.
can proxy some of those needs, then that's telling you you're isolated.
And that's how trauma bonds are formed.
Absolutely.
I like that y'all said that too, because a lot of people I don't think consider that, because you might not consider how your family is important in this decision making, right? But then you want to be the show, you want them to, to use them as a shoulder to lean on when your guy doesn't show up, or when your lady doesn't visit you in the hospital and take care of you. So, or when you don't got nobody to keep your kids because you don't got your dude or your lady no more. But people don't think about they could be literally introducing their family to a bunch of issues, because it's not just the single person that's affected, it's the entire family that's impacted by it.
Absolutely.
Entire family.
Yep, your entire tribe.
Wow.
And you don't need to color in. We talk about this and we laugh. When you were kids,
Mhm.
kindergarten, second grade, you coloring on your paper. You don't take your crayon and color on the next person's paper. Your teacher would be like, Brian, color on your paper. Don't color on Crystal's paper. That's Crystal's paper. Do not color in all of what you want this person to be with your crayons.
Mhm.
Let them show you who they are. Let your tribe see what you may not be able to see, because it's so much better and healthier to work through those things when you're dating than when you're married. And now you're like, I was tricked.
Mm.
I had no idea. You've got to be able to let the data inform what work has to be done in the dating space to see if it's enough to leverage another aspect of the possibility for the relationship.
And I want to add to that too. You know, there's a difference between walls and boundaries. So the young lady
Wait,
who
can you repeat that real
there
quickly?
is a difference between walls and boundaries. So the young lady who made the comment, right? When you say it doesn't matter what the family thinks, that's a wall.
Right.
That's a wall. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm not going to let you in my space. Boundary says, I love you. I care about you. I respect you. It does matter what you think, but I have boundaries. Now, you can't come in here and control my relationship and run my household. You have to respect my house. You have to respect my decisions, but I do respect your feedback. So there's a difference between a wall and a boundary. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense.
So a boundary is a guide. Think about 285 here in Atlanta. You got lines that tell you what lane you're in. You got signs that tell you how fast you should go. They're guiding you on how to navigate this freeway. That's very different than the wall that's separating you,
The median
that's separating you from the other side, because you want people, even in your family, to follow good boundaries. They can't just talk any way they want to disrespectfully to somebody that you're dating that is honorable and deserves respect. That's a guide. The other side of that is, no, you can't meet none of my family till the wedding.
Median.
That's a wall, right? So now you've not given them a bridge to be family with that person. And you think just because you wear a white dress or because you wear a tuxedo, the next 5 minutes after you say I do, everybody's going to be like, yo, we fam.
Right.
I've never seen you before. Nobody's talked about you. We're all sitting here saying, who's this dude? Or
And
who's this woman?
And boundaries are to keep you healthy in relationship.
Yep.
Not to keep people out. It says, this is what my healthy space looks like. So here is how you operate on my highway, just like a speed limit on 285. They have done a lot of studies and they've run a lot of data that says 55 is the safe zone right here. Here you can go 70, but right here with the curves, we need you to be at 55, right? That's from data. So, you know, here's my safe zones. That's what the boundaries do. Boundaries protect and keep the relationship healthy, not keep people out.
Now, Chris, I want to be clear about this because we got some people going in the chat like, yeah, I feel what they're saying, but they don't know my family. So I want to make sure, if does like close friends and trusted, people that you just generally trust, would you include them in that same group?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you're going to be honest and authentic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you coloring this person in so that your friends are like, they good people.
Yeah.
Then you're cheating yourself. If you say these people are your friends, AKA they are your tribe, they are your people, then you've got to give them the opportunity to see what's also going to keep you safe and keep your highway free of accidents.
And if they can't be trusted, why are they in your community?
I like that because I think most people introduce once they introduce their significant other to their family, is so they can impress their family, not so they can bring their family as backup. Like, hey, look, we're gonna put him to the test, or we're gonna put her to the test to make sure they legit for that level of protection. So I like,
Which is the same reason they don't introduce them to their family.
exactly,
Because it's the exact same. They trying to hide this dude because this dude ain't gonna impress their family.
But you know that coming in. You know that coming in,
Yeah.
and you don't want to admit it. That means that something in you is telling you that this person is not the right person.
Okay, so hold on real quick, y'all, because listen, the good news is we got something so special for y'all. These wonderful ladies has prepared something so special for the community, the Harley Initiated community, that I'm gonna keep a little secret. Y'all stay tuned. Stay in this beautiful video that we are curating here for y'all. And I actually want to kind of get back to where we were going with this thing, because the fear of commitment, it's a real thing right now, especially in our culture. This is how we got here in the first place. What you got,
yeah.
Ryan?
Can I get some shout outs real quick?
Let's get it in.
So real quick, guys, listen, we got to do this for the members. So at the 30-minute mark, I am going to designate the chat for members only. And it's only because the membership has been growing. We got very close to 230 members. I'm sure we're going to hit that 230 mark tonight. So I'm going to have to close it out. So please, if you want to take part in the chat and you want to just generally support the channel, because it takes a lot to get these kind of experts, these kind of guests onto the show. So please support us and join the membership. And real quick, I just want to open it up for a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Benita Jackson. She says, I am so very proud of you both.
Yay.
Listen, Miss Jackson, I love Miss Jackson. She always looking out. Just hit the super chat. Shout out to Mira. Mira is keeping y'all on point. Mira says, hit that like button. Don't forget, guys. If you hit the like button, it's going to go out to as many people as possible. So that really helps us out, really helps out the algorithm. And shout out to Teddy for joining the membership. And guys, I wanted to give y'all this because I promised y'all I would get back to y'all on this. On August, at the beginning of August, when we had our first live, I told you, once we get to 3,500, we are going to officially get the studio soundproof. We really need that, guys, to make sure everything sounds crisp. And right now we are at $694. Matter of fact, $704 because Mir just dropped that $10 super chat. So please, guys, and I'm asking a lot. I love the $3, the $1 super chats, but if you can give us 10 plus, that would be ideal going to that soundproofing. And I'm gonna let Tyshawn go ahead and get us going.
Yes. So go ahead and send them super chats in with the questions, because we're gonna get you in the conversation as well. But let's start here, okay? Because when we talk about fear commitment, we kind of popped it off a little early. Y'all don't be seeing the conversation before the cameras turn on. But let's kind of start there, because fear of commitment. Is this a woman's issue? Is this a men's issue? Give me what y'all think.
We see it a lot more when it comes to men, but it's a people issue. Because when you're talking about vulnerability, you're talking about control, fear of being out of control, fear of taking a risk, fear of needing someone else, fear of not being emotionally accepted. If they see you, like all of you, without the mask, without the titles, without the labels, will they still care about you? Right? So we see it on both sides, but a lot more on the men's side.
Yeah,
Why do you think that is, though?
Women
drop a
seem to
poll
be
for that
more
one.
resilient.
That's a great poll
I'm dropping
here.
a poll.
Do men or women struggle more with commitment?
Yeah.
But do you think it's because of the vulnerability why men are struggling?
Well, women seem to be more resilient in the space of being hurt and bouncing back. Men get hurt and it's like devastated. It's just like how you
Playing
ever
for life,
hear,
return of the Mac.
Right. You ever hear like when a woman is sick, right? Everything still has to go on. When a man is sick, everything has to shut down.
Yeah.
He got a cold and the whole house has
family.
to shut down, right?
Right.
So it's the same. Men, when they get hurt, because when they make that commitment and give their heart to a woman and they're hurt,
Yeah.
they oftentimes will make a declaration that's never gonna happen to me again.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
It's time to hit the streets.
Yeah. Right. And it can be early on. It can be second grade. Like it can be your first girlfriend ever. But once you get hurt, you just never want to feel that feeling again.
Exactly. And women feel the same way. However, I think oftentimes our fear of being alone is higher than our fear of being hurt.
It's interesting because me personally, I know the biggest thing, and shout out to the show, man, because the show has really showed me, I don't even want to say a different side of relationships. It showed me every side
Yeah.
of relationships. Just you can't speak to hundreds of people from different angles and not hit it just about from every side. But I think when it came to me, the fear of freedom was my biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like me knowing and thinking that, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to be with this one woman for the next 50, 60 years of my life. I can't talk to no other woman. I can't try no other woman. Like, I can't even, no samples, no nothing for the rest of my life. That was
samples.
that was scary to me.
Yeah.
That was scary to me personally. It was the vulnerability part. Yeah, that is scary because vulnerability, but it was the freedom part. And I wonder what the guys struggle with. I'm really curious to know that. But when it comes to this fear of vulnerability, I know a lot of ladies that also have this fear. I think even when it comes down to, in some ways, the whole independent era, even when I hear women in many ways where they are like, girl, no, don't worry, girl, don't worry about him. Girl, get your money. Girl, you better have some money before you get that man, or whatever the case is. Always keep you a bag, always keep you some money. Now, I'm not saying that can't be good advice, but I know that advice can also come from a place of hurt
Fear.
and fear. So that vulnerability, is it safe to say that all of that is tied, that whole mindset that I just spoke about, is that also tied to the fear of vulnerability?
Mhm.
It is, and we kind of got to go back just a little bit to go forward. Attachment and how we learned healthy attachment as children
Mhm.
has a lot to do with how we attach as adults. So it's interesting because if you've had a rough start as a little boy with attachment, either with your mom, your dad, your family of origin, it's kind of strange to think you just going to become a 28-year-old man that has practiced attachment and now you just want to be super committed. It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
If it's shaky at the start, often you're trying to correct how you feel by having a lot of barriers to feeling the pain again. So it's trauma, right? So if as a kid you felt out of control, you felt like you weren't safe, you felt distressed, abandoned, things just weren't consistent, you take that with you, and you guys talked about it. You make a commitment now. I'm never going to feel that again. We say you don't make a commitment, you make a covenant. It's even bigger than a promise. It's like, that's never going to happen to me again. Why? Because I'm never going to feel that trauma, that out of control again.
And when you start to make moves towards having that feeling, you meet somebody that you really like and there's possibility, you sabotage.
You sabotage it, or worse, you like, I'm just going to pick people that I'm not going to be in risk of having a committed relationship
So
with.
you lower the bar for yourself.
What are some signs? What would y'all say are some signs that you probably dating somebody that's kind of dealing with this fear? What might that look like? And because I want people to be able to recognize it and know how to handle that a bit. So what might you see? Somebody that's scared of being vulnerable and might be even, because they might be stringing you along
On both
in
sides
that
too,
case.
for men and then
Yeah,
also
because
for
I want to
women.
know if the signs are different as well.
Inconsistency will tell you a lot about a person. If they do what they say they're going to do, you know they have a level of integrity, right? If you find that they are often doing things to bring distance where distance is not even needed, but they're intentionally doing things to create distance. Something is there.
Okay.
Now, people are like, well, what if I just don't want to have a relationship? So we do this test in our community. We're not psychic, but we probably could tell your audience what their purpose is. Think about it. What's your purpose? Think about it, guys. What's your purpose? Just think in your mind. This is why I think I'm here. This is my purpose. You got it? You got what you thought? You got what you thought? Okay. We're not psychic, but we can probably tell you what that is. Here it goes. Connection. That's your purpose.
With other people.
You want to write a book? If nobody reads it, useless. You want to have a podcast? Nobody listens to it. Everything that you're thinking you want to do that's purposeful requires connection. Everything. Want to open up a daycare? Want to be a sports agent? Everything requires connection. So to then decide the most important aspect of your life, relationally, romantic relationship, that's the one area you don't want to connect, lets you know something is going on. Something is not calibrating the way that it should, because everything that's purposeful requires that. Everything. So that's a sign. If they don't want to connect, that is a sign that something else is managing their decision-making process. And you should look out for that. Ryan is looking at me like.
No, I like that. Actually, recently read this book. It's called Ikigai. And pretty much it's a study that they did on the blue zones. I'm not sure, you familiar with the blue zones? So pretty much it's the 7 areas in the world where people are living the longest. So the most popular blue zone that you guys might know of is Okinawa, Japan, where they have multiple, like a whole neighborhood of centaurians, like people who lived over 100. And what they found amongst like great diets and hobbies and that type of deal, the number one thing that kept these people alive was actually connection.
Absolutely.
That was the number one thing. It was the connection with the community. It was a connection with children and grandchildren. And one of the things that they found that was going on in this village, that every morning at the same time, all of the people in the entire village would literally be outside at the same time in the morning.
That's so
They
cool.
look forward to seeing one another.
That's so cool.
It was crazy. And another thing that they did, all of the people in the village during the day, like midday, regardless of work, anything that's going on, they would literally like play games. So like the community, the grandkids, the grandparents, everybody would participate in these community games. And these people living to over 100 years old. It was insane. Yeah.
That is amazing.
And we don't want to say that, but it's not natural.
Right.
It's not natural to not want to be in connection. So if that's the play that you're seeing in the person that you're dating, everything that they desire is to be isolated, disconnected, distant, unattached. That's who you're dating. To try to create a marriage on that, it's going to be rough.
It's interesting because, I mean, again, like when we go back a bit, you know, we agree that we weren't always in this place where we were so reluctant to connect, or at least attempt to. I'm not saying that we were having the greatest or was the most successful, but we were not as reluctant as we are as a culture. And it's kind of a crazy place to think that our culture is kind of creating this. And more important, like you said, our American culture is creating this reluctance of us connecting. And that's a very dangerous sign. We kind of talked about that too on one of the last lives that we had as well, that our culture is kind of creating this very pessimistic idea around connection and relationships. And I think when you even look at many of just the big pages, the media pages, it even almost promotes the fear. Like whether it's promoting toxic relationships or it's promoting the top new divorce of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like we're constantly seeing these failures, you know, back to back to back to back. And I think subconsciously that also adds to our fear of being in these relationships, you know, mainly because again, we just not, you know, seeing it done right. which is a very dangerous thing. Ryan, we actually got 109 people on it. Let's actually look at the poll. Let's see what the people talk
So
about.
I'm gonna check out the poll real quick, guys. It's 398, 39 minutes in, and we this close to 400 people in the live chat, which is really dope.
Come on in.
And guys, if you haven't listened, the description, I want y'all to check out the description. It's always loaded. It's going to have the Instagram page of these beautiful ladies. It's also going to have the very first episode, which is about 3 weeks ago, which was a dope episode. It was how do you know that a man is serious? And this is the thing. It sounds like it's a ladies episode. I do get that. But guys, we had a moment on there. So even if you only catch 15 to 20 minutes of that moment, guys, you definitely want to tune into the episode too. So I'm gonna do this real quick.
Every episode we put out, guys.
I agree. So I think we can stop it here. We got 119 votes on this poll. It's only been up for about 11 minutes. And I expected this.
It's lopsided.
I expected this. So, do men or women struggle more with vulnerability? And here we got most people think 85% men that are struggling with vulnerability and just struggling with commitment in general.
Well, that makes sense, right? As little boys, men are told, "Suck it up." They're not allowed to feel. What you crying about? Suck it up. Get it together. Right? You're a man. You've got to put these masks on to show that you are okay. And you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to feel. And then when you get in a relationship with a woman, the first thing she wants to know, how you feel about me.
That's true.
Right?
In fact, daily.
She want to know that once a week. Right. That's a regular question.
Right.
So you're not practiced in the language of how you feel. You ever look at a chart of all of the feeling words? And sometimes we have to do that with the men.
Feeling words? Like,
yes.
Give me an example of the feeling words.
Oh, frustrated, hurt, afraid, sad.
All weak words.
There you go.
No, really.
Honestly, they don't even feel good to express.
In the men's vocabulary, those are weak
you
words.
don't have practice.
That's a good point.
They don't feel good to express because you don't have muscle.
Or a safe person in place.
There you go.
Because I ain't just walking up to a woman and saying, I'm afraid.
See?
My name is Ty. Right. That ain't how it's going down.
But safety is co-created, right?
Yeah.
It's co-created. So you can't just put up barriers and walls and craziness in your relationship and then scream that you're not safe. You got to create that safety together. That's just the way that it works. So if you're looking at it and you're saying, it's not what I need it to be, part of the challenge is, what's your next move? What's your next best move from this is not what I needed to be in this moment? If you think your next best move is to eject yourself from the situation, then you're not clear on the work that's needed.
You know what? Let me ask you this, because this was an interesting take from one of our previous guests. They said the key to knowing if you have a safe space and to creating vulnerability is just to tell it all, right? So one of the brothers that we had, shout out to Shannon and Shirley. Shannon, married Jane. He said that before I got married, I think this was his second marriage, he said, I laid it out all on the table. He said, you want to know if she with you? Tell her you're broke. Tell her your credit score. Tell her this. Tell her that. Let her know. He said, and if she leaves, she was probably gonna leave anyway. Like that was, I mean, if your truth bothers her, then it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I side-eyed that advice, but I understand it because I've heard versions of it from different people. Shout out to Dr. Jamal. He's coming out too. Got some big shows coming out for y'all. He even on a recent show said that it's easier for a man who's not all the way to successful to actually find a woman because it's more likely she's genuinely there for you in the building stage to help you swing the hammer versus at the finish line when it's all put together.
And he did add a second part to that. He said, not just that, it's also possible that once you reach a level of success, you have this level of paranoia that could prevent you from even making the right decision as well.
And that, because now you question everybody's intentions. But again, it goes back to vulnerability because all of those things are somewhat related. They're cousins, if you will. Because, and I want to know your thoughts on that. Do you think it's safe or good advice for a man to really just come before, and it's more specifically prior to marriage, all the skeletons give that ugly truth and version of who he is to the woman as a way to test whether or not his space is safe.
You don't need to test, you need to relate. It's not about testing.
Mhm.
If you're still wearing the mask with the person that you've asked to marry you, you're living a lie. If you're at the point where this person can't see you, but you've asked them to marry you, or you're at the point where he can't see you, but you've accepted the invitation to live together in marriage, you're not working with the right building blocks. Because we tell folks, you're not ready to get married to anybody until they've met you. If they're still dating your persona, and then they find out after you've gotten married that who you said you were was an act, that's trouble. You really want to know who you're dating. And if they decide the truth of who you are is not their blessing, they get to decide that. But a lot of times you'd be surprised. When you're authentic, it attracts possibility.
And it gives the other person the permission to be authentic as well.
Mm.
When you're authentic, you give them permission to be authentic.
I would say this though. I think as men, I think just generally, I think it's easier for women to be vulnerable, mainly because we already see women and even prefer a woman who's somewhat of a damsel, right?
Yeah.
Who's already in some level of distress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't even turn us off.
Mhm.
Women are attracted to strength. Women are attracted to men who are damn near better than them,
Mhm.
right? Women are attracted to almost, they want the S on the chest when it comes to the man. And, rarely is a man who's being very vulnerable that goes against all the things that women are typically attracted to. So it's kind of tricky when it comes down to that because, I still haven't really figured out what's the balance between being 100% honest and still being the leader and the person that you have to be, because even you guys, y'all are astute businesswomen,
Mhm.
and everything that goes wrong in the company, y'all might not be telling to everybody on the staff,
Mhm.
because it's just certain things that y'all just gonna deal with on the back end and just kind of put the load on your back, and vulnerability is not going to be necessarily relevant to communicating to your people because that ain't even got to get to them. And I think as men, we feel that way sometimes. And it could be really tricky about knowing what to load and unload to our women, if that makes sense.
But vulnerability is a gift.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't deserve it. So if you're just starting to collect data on a woman or data on a man, they do not deserve to know all of your wounds, all of your victories, all of the tender places. It takes time and evidence that you can be trusted with all of who I am. That's why we tell people date and collect data. Take a beat, take a moment, because wanting to share everything about yourself in places that are unsafe makes you unsafe, because they shouldn't have that information about you.
And strong leaders build other leaders. And vulnerability is a big part of that. So when you talk about leading an organization and should you be vulnerable with the people on your team, right? A strong leader can still be vulnerable and in control at the same time and give other people the opportunity to increase their leadership, right? We have a challenge. We're going to come together. We're going to solve this challenge. I need everybody's input. I need everybody's buy-in. I need people to step up in these areas. I'm still in control. I've been vulnerable to share that we have a challenge, we have an obstacle that we need to overcome. It's the same in relationship, right? We have an issue. We need to discuss it. I'm still in control, right? But
Yeah.
I need your buy-in. I need your feedback. I'm still a strong leader. I'm not weak. But men they're so much more comfortable with surface level emotions,
Mm.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm angry, right?
That's an easy one.
If you
Yeah.
think of a situation where you're angry, and then I say, and how does that make you feel? And then I take you another level. It makes you feel like that because you're afraid of what? And what do you take responsibility in on that? What's your responsibility in this dynamic? And going forward, what's the commitment you want from your partner in this? You take them down about 8 levels,
Right.
that's where you reach the vulnerability.
So you know what? Let me tell you. I think what you're saying makes so much sense. And I think what it looks like being vulnerable for men and women is different. I think that's the biggest thing. Because my woman, she could run in the room and just cry. She could just run in the room
Right.
and just cry, lay on me, and just tell me all this stuff that's going on.
Mhm,
I can't do that.
mhm.
That my vulnerability still got to look strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay.
And I think that's what men probably got to be taught is how to be vulnerable with strength.
Yes.
Because I never heard that conversation before, but I think that's a good one.
I think it
Because-
also has to come with some level of like solution or next step along with it as well.
Right.
Like, hey, this is how I'm feeling,
Going
and
forward.
going forward, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do
Yes.
next.
There
You
Right.
can't just be like, I'm lost. I don't know what to
Because
do.
see,
There
because
you go.
the original,
There you go.
but see, the original conversation is just say how you feel. No, that ain't how it works. That ain't for us.
right.
You'll just start saying how you feel.
Right.
All right, she gonna be side-eyeing you. All right, so
Right. He
you
always
gotta-
got problems.
yeah,
He always going through some stuff.
you gotta say how you feel a certain way, and I liked how you delivered that, and really what that is leadership training, and that's really what's very important. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's mandatory. If you ain't read a leadership book,
Oh,
nobody put you on
Huge.
leadership.
huge.
That's like a major prerequisite, in my opinion, to even know how to manage the relationship.
And I just got to shout out to Kenny because, we just got to throw these toxic super chats in.
Yeah.
But Kenny says men are ready for relationships. Women pick poorly. But I do want to challenge that, Kenny. I do want to challenge that because I do think men think they're ready for relationships. But you talk about that level of vulnerability is not just openly expressing these emotions with no solution. But I think another part of it is when you are informing your lady of kind of things that you appreciate and things that you don't quite appreciate and what you would like to see moving forward. Because I do think it's a large group of men that are completely afraid, just really petrified to let their woman know that it's something that she's doing or participating in that causes them a level of dissatisfaction. And I think that's when you get the men who are in these relationships where they might be getting emasculated, or the man who says, she's the boss, I just asked my wife, that type of deal. So, I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it goes along with what I just said. You have to go a couple of levels deeper than I don't like it or I'm angry. I want you to change that. Go a little deeper, because when you do that, it makes me feel like you don't respect me as a man. And I'm afraid that if we continue this way, I'm going to disconnect from you because I don't feel safe. And I understand that my responsibility in this is when you did it this time and you did it that time, I didn't say anything. But going forward, we're going to have a safe word to let you know you're talking too much. And I don't feel safe right now. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to have some boundaries in our relationship. And that when you talk it through at those levels, to that level of depth, that's strong. I'll be like, okay, baby. Right.
Yeah,
I can
right,
respect
right.
that strength from a man. I understand why you don't like it. I understand how it makes you feel. And we got a plan going forward. This is what we're going to do.
But just because you are a man, not just male, but you are a grown man, does not mean that you know how to do relationships well. So when the person said, we know how to do relationships, how do you know that? Who taught you that? What's the playbook? What rules of engagement are you following? How do you know that those rules of engagement work for the outcome that you want? it's not just chronological age and having a lot of women that you've had in the past, or having a lot of men that you've had to be able to buy you things or propose or whatever the superficial stuff is. How do you know if the stuff that you believe makes you ready is tried and true and is really stuff that will keep you together?
Mm.
Most people don't even ask those questions.
Right.
Right? So it's so much information out here now that tells you what works and what doesn't work. Do you know what those things are? If you don't know what those things are, you end up a lot of times doing things that are going to sabotage your relationship. But you don't know that. You're just doing it because that's what you saw.
I agree with that. And I think it's the exact same situation for women as well, which is why I think it's important, because sometimes men would just, immediately disqualify a woman like this is not going to work. But that woman literally may be a good woman, and she may not have ever been told that this is what works best in your specific relationship, but also relationships in general. So I just want to do real quick this for the men. So these are 3 books that I think every man should read when it comes to operating in your masculine in a relationship. So first you got The Masculine in the Relationship by G.S. Youngblood, which I think is a great book. You got Way of the Superior Man, which is probably one of our favorite books. I'm not sure if we did David Deed. I'm not sure if we ever did a show on that. And then you got Kingdom Warrior Magician Lover. So those 3 books, ladies, if you just maybe buy a little care package for your man, get those 3 books. That's going to make you better by making him better. So I think those are really 3 great books for all men. And Tasha, I think he's getting ready to say something.
No. Actually, we got to get Kenny going crazy here right now. Get his last few super chats.
No, we're gonna leave it Kenny alone because this thing, Kenny's too spicy.
Yeah,
we're gonna leave him alone for a second. But shout out to King.
Spicy.
Shout out to King for dropping for taking care of a young lady, gifting the membership. We always love when you guys gift the membership. And shout out to Your Milk and Honey. And this is the thing, guys. We are almost at 500 in the chat. Only at 56 minutes. And ladies, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that number again. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this number. All right. So we accepting call-ins, and I'm gonna open this up to members, non-members, anybody who wants to call in, give us their specific situation, because we want to hit a tea. We want to hit a juice. We want to get a little drama involved to talk to these ladies. But real quick,
and it's 100% anonymous, guys. So y'all don't even have to tell us who you are. Just be open, honest, transparent. That vulnerability we talking about, y'all can do it right here on the phone lines here with us. Go ahead.
Shout out to Joyce Pack, who's been a member for a month. She sent over, men make a decision and stick to it when experiencing pain in a bad relationship. And shout out to Anastasia Parks, who says, a woman loves a man with boundaries, not a pushover, often misrepresented as women don't like nice guys. I agree with that 1,000%. But I want to talk to you ladies before, because we get ready. I'm sure the call in is going to be some issues, which is good, riveting, good for viewership, right? I'm joking. But on a serious note, you guys have, coached people through a lot of transformations. So could you give us like just a small sample of a real life example of somebody who was initially closed off, had no interest in being vulnerable, but then was able to work through some issues and then open up to then have success on the other end?
We have so many.
I can imagine that.
Vulnerability. My goodness. We coach a lot of women who come to us, and they are the ones that everybody comes to when they need help, when they need support, but they don't have anybody in their circle who can support them. They feel like nobody really sees them, nobody really hears them. And so they wear this mask of the superwoman. And they don't know how to take the cape off. They don't know how to take it off at work. They don't know how to take it off in their romantic relationships. They don't know how to take it off in their family. And so they walk around feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, undervalued, and like nobody really cares. Nobody checks on them. And so when we do the work with them to understand, number one, what formed your belief system that you had to be perfect, that you had to have it all together, that you can't fail, right? That your worth is tied to what you can do and not who you are. We do the work to liberate their minds And it's just amazing to see when they release, because they feel like they're trekking uphill with a whole mountain on their back. And when you release all of that, all those expectations, other people's expectations, we see just tremendous growth in their lives and their ability to communicate with their partners, their ability to communicate with their colleagues and their family. It all changes. The dynamic shifts because they go from a mindset to a mind shift. And it's a game changer.
Wow.
A lot of times too, they are professionally successful, right?
Right.
Great as it relates to degrees, great as it relates to how they're trending in their career or the opportunities in entrepreneurship. But in the relationship space, whether that's the relationship with their families or the relationship that they want to create romantically, they're like, everything else is good. This area, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but it's not getting the results. The stuff that I'm doing in the other areas of my life that are making me a success, it's not working over here. And I don't really know what to do because there's also a level of shame to it too. That I want to be in a relationship or I want to be in a successful relationship. I thought this was it. I don't want to start over, but I know that this is not the healthiest for me, or I've been hurt before and I don't want to be hurt again. So I make a lot of moves that are based on my trauma, not based on tools that are going to get me to the next level in relationship with others. And what we're able to do is help them shift how they think, how they move, how they date, how they relate in relationships, how they create boundaries that bring healthy relationships towards them versus toxic ones, and how they start to practice differently. So when they're dating, they're not dating with the same mindset. So how the dating shows up in their lives is very different.
And we have babies.
We have
babies in our tribe that we are aunties to.
That's dope.
From women who have come to us and they were either not dating or not dating successfully.
Yeah.
And now they're in healthy relationships and have babies. So we
I
are
love
proud to be
Their
aunties.
family.
Yeah.
Their family.
I love
you
ladies
know?
with babies.
Yes.
So let me ask y'all this because I'm curious to know this, because what would you say? Because I kind of told y'all my situation.
Oh,
about
wait,
how I
here,
felt.
don't forget about the call. We gotta
Oh,
open up.
is it
Yeah,
time?
it's time.
It's nine.
time. We're gonna
Well,
get a
look,
call.
Oh, it's
Yeah, go ahead and drop the number, Lano. Let the people see the number. So I mean, the numbers when it comes in, Lano, just let us know when a call comes in. Go ahead and drop the number so everybody can go ahead and see it. Y'all can go ahead and call in when you guys yep, there it goes. There that number goes. Go ahead and hit us up, y'all. Go ahead and hit us up. I'm gonna talk in the meantime
Go
until
ahead,
that phone
go
starts
ahead.
ringing. Let me know, Lano, when we get a phone call in, and we'll go ahead and get it popping. Okay. With that being the case, I wanted to ask y'all. In the meantime, what would you say to someone who feels like a long-term relationship or commitment is a loss of freedom? What would you say to that? Why are you over there laughing?
That opens up that opens up so much freedom for you when you're able to be the right person.
Oh.
Okay. The headphones on.
Headphones on, baby. Let's do it.
Turn on the headphones, Lano. We got to hear the sound, baby.
Hey, it's one of the members calling in.
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing? Who's speaking?
I'm good. This is Mira.
Mira, what's
Hi,
popping?
Mira.
Look,
How
he
y'all
didn't say it's anonymous in action name, Mira.
Wasn't sure. I just have a question. I get a lot of people that come to me about different things. So I have a question like, what advice do you give to someone who just feels like a relationship or marriage or anything is just not for them? They're just not. I think they're interested, but they're maybe scared. There might be unhealed trauma there, or they just feel like they're unlovable. Like, what would where would they start?
Do
Like,
you
what?
Mira, that's a great question. I would recommend that they do their work. It starts with therapy. Y'all, therapy is good.
Nope.
Therapy is so good because you want to make sure that you are making a decision from a healthy space. There's nothing wrong with someone who says, I don't want to be married, right? You just understand why you're making that decision. And if it's from a healthy space, if it's from a place of fear or from a place of trauma, you want to do your work to understand the root cause of that so that you can, from a healthy space, make that decision if you want to.
Now, if somebody says, I never want to be married, is that ever really healthy?
Well, anytime you're using words like never,
Right.
that's a yellow red flag on the play.
Right.
It's orange. It's orange flag.
When somebody is like, you never do this, that's not real. These are emotional words that are used often because somebody's in pain or somebody's hurt, but they're not factual. So when somebody's like, I never want to be in a relationship, I never want to get married, I never feel like I'm good enough, I'm not worthy, all of those things are letting you know something else is happening that needs attention.
What you got, Mira?
What are you guys' thoughts on, like, okay, say this person is now getting back into the word, like reading different scriptures in the Bible, like for guidance and different things. Like, do you guys speak to that, or
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
any suggestions on where, especially like, okay, so say for example, this person's me. I'm of a certain age. Natural kids are out of the picture, out of the question. Like that's not going to happen. Adoption's on the table, or something like that. But where would I start? Like, where would I start?
Where would you start to do what?
Like, as far as like healing, like you said, there's, that's a red flag or a yellow red flag. If they're, I'm never going to do this, or there's fear, or there's that. Like, if the scripture is something that you guys would recommend, like, do you have like any particular scriptures?
There are so many women in our tribe that we're able to help them build what we would say is their advisory board of sorts. Part of that is their spiritual healing and wholeness, therapy to be able to go back and to figure out where the wounds are, coaching to be able to help you figure out how to really move forward and activate actions that are going to help you get to that next level. It's not one thing. We talk about having really services that are going to wrap around you to help you be whole and healed, to make sure that the next level of decisions that you make is not based on anything that is in the past, but based on being focused on what's possible in the future. And your spiritual health is a huge part of that.
Yeah, in fact, in our community Mirror, we focus on prayer and meditation, self-care, having a strong community to support you, and just doing your work to set a vision for yourself and working on your core. Spirituality is your core. If you don't have a strong core, it's just like working out, right? You work out, if your core muscles aren't strong, it affects all the other muscles in your body.
Right.
Yeah, check it out. I listen. I really want to stay, but these phone lines are blowing up. Thank you so much.
It's okay. Thank you both. Nice talking to you, Ty.
Listen. You be having chat rocking.
Listen,
we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. We love you, Mira. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay.
Thanks,
Mira. Take care.
Excellent.
And guys, we are improving the live call in every week. This time it literally, go ahead and answer that. It sounds good, but we got to get the call waiting together. So it's going pretty good.
Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Jennifer out of Philadelphia.
What's up, Jennifer?
Hi, Jennifer.
What's going on? I just wanted to add a few comments. Working in the field of social work counseling, I think when we begin to
oh, you got to mute the show in the back. There you go.
Shut up. All right, here we go. I believe that when we start to date, we must do some self-preservation. We must evaluate ourselves first before we can try to see who we want to date and what do we bring to the table. And if we can't find that match to some degree, we shouldn't go above and beyond that. But also know who this individual is. Ask the pertinent questions from the very beginning. Not a joy kill, but ask the questions that will either do a deal breaker or you could deal with that. Because a lot of people take baggage that they shouldn't be carrying. So I think that look at the baggage that person is bringing, male or female, and see if you're ready to swallow that. But if you're not, you need to say that at the door. Time is that essence, and I don't think it should be wasted on anybody. Desperate people see desperado women and men. People can seek out desperate. They see desperate. Even though you be like, I'm not desperate. But men and women can see people desperate by the certain actions that women and men carry. You look desperate, or you want to say thirsty. But we must understand that we must look at ourselves first, and then we can approach that man or female properly, because they can see who we are from the door. If we needy.
Hold on, wait 1 second. I'm trying to take some questions. Are you coaching or you asking questions?
No, I'm sorry.
What's the question?
She from Philly. She said, I got a word for y'all.
No, not at all. What was the question? I'm sorry.
What's
What
the
was
question?
your question?
Well, my question was, why do we jump ahead of the game? Why do we need to look? How come women and men don't look first and ask questions and say, you know what, good, some things are just eye candy, so we have to know. I mean, I just think that dating and being able to understand who you are and understand who that individual is important before you can move forward. And knowing who you are. That's my question. Why don't people do self-preservation first and understand that you're not going to bring everything to the table that individual needs, and they're not going to bring everything that you need. But there's balance. We need balance. How come we can't have balance?
Look, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and answer that question, but I appreciate you for giving us a call,
Appreciate
okay?
you, Jen.
Thank you, guys. I listen to you all the time. Love you.
Later.
Bye-bye.
So I believe she was basically asking
Self-preservation. Why
Yeah,
don't we? First of all, she gave the question and the answer. That was not a real question.
Philly style, baby.
Philly
Right.
style,
Philly
straight
style.
Philly style up in here. Big shout out to everybody calling up in here.
Yeah, and
Y'all
shout out
see-
to everybody listening to the show. We love that for real.
No, really, we really do. And guys, again, we want to engage you guys and be able to give you as much value as we possibly can, and bringing you guys in to speak to our experts is going to be one of the best ways to do so. Make sure when you come up in here, you mute your actual call that you got it on, and you come ready with your question. We're gonna give you the answers. Come with your question.
Yeah.
But
Matter of fact, hit us up with name, where you from, question.
that's
Boom.
it. That's really all we need.
I like
That's
it.
really all we need for y'all.
Let's get one more in.
And we're gonna take. We're gonna go ahead and take one more.
And while we're waiting on that call, real quick, I want to do a shout out to Larry Love Jr. Larry Love, man. See, ladies, Dr. Nicole and Crystal, Larry Love is one of our single bachelors. Yeah, he loves the show.
Larry.
Yeah,
But I can tell Larry, he done have some relationship issues in the
he
past. So I
have.
think-
You can just
I
tell
think-
by the comments.
Yeah, I think Larry got some issues with some trust. But Larry says relationships are so hard at times. It's going to be hard for me to give up my peace as a single man. I just don't want to waste my time in a committed relationship. So let's turn that into a question. Do you find that most men are feeling like Larry, they don't want to waste time? What kind of fear or what do you think the issue is? If you can try to identify issue just from that comment, he don't want to waste his time in a committed relationship.
It sounds good on the surface, but it's so much under that.
Mhm.
It's surface when you're hearing somebody say, I don't want to waste my time. How are you using your time in a productive way that's going to create the relationship you want? Because what you're hearing is avoidance, you're hearing pain, you're hearing fear,
Trauma.
you're hearing trauma. That's what that statement is saying. So if you don't want to waste your time, agreed. Then how are you using your time to best be able to prepare and to best be able to do your work so that you don't move into trauma-driven situations because you haven't healed.
Yeah, because I think it's clear if anybody is listening to this, it's either they are in a current relationship, they're looking to improve, or they are single looking to get themselves right for a future relationship. So I think it's fair to say, Larry, if you are, it sounds like you pretty much, I mean, just if you listen to the show, it sounds like you're interested in the relationship. But what do you guys think that men can do? What's the main thing that a man can do if he, he's really interested in a relationship, but he's just like, man, I don't want to get myself involved with somebody that's not the actual one.
It's not about the other person.
Mm.
We always want to focus on who we're dating.
Mm.
Focus on you, because everywhere you go, you go. Everywhere you go. Have you ever tried to show up to the mirror and you didn't show up?
Mm.
We're not talking about the other person. We're talking about you. So we always say for men, man, if you want to be a free man, get therapy. All the things you're afraid of incarcerating you in some way, if you get therapy, game changer. You're afraid you're going to choose the wrong one. Get therapy. You will start trusting your decisions and making decisions not based on trauma, but based on your manhood and who you want to build with. You won't prematurely sabotage things that you build. Men don't sabotage what they build. So in order to work in tandem with the vision that you have for your life and with the purpose that you've been given by God, you're going to need some support and some help.
And freedom is an internal mind shift.
Yep.
You can be incarcerated and have a free mind. You could be physically incarcerated and have a free mind, because freedom is an internal mind shift.
Yep.
Right. So, your comment, Larry, says that you have fear of being incarcerated in a relationship, which means you probably had a relationship in the past where you did not feel that you had peace in your home or peace in your relationship because you brought that up. So doing your work makes all the difference, because we can't change another person. And you will never find a perfect person.
Yep.
All that you can do is make sure that you are in a healthy space to relate to others. And when energy is transferable, when you are out in the world and your energy is negative and your energy is saying what you don't want, you attract that very thing. Versus when you have a mindset of freedom and you are giving out light and you're shining, it's so attractive. That's why confidence is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Confidence in a man and a woman is extremely sexy, because the energy says, I feel good about myself. I value myself. I feel good. Right. And that's what it projects and you attract.
And first of all, here's what I want everybody to do, because we're about to do something very special for the hardly initiated audience. But first, I want to get these likes up, y'all, because it's a lot of people in here. We had close to 500 people up in here, and we only got 200 likes. So when we hit 300 likes, I want to do something very special for our audience. So I don't care if you're just listening, you washing these dishes. Go ahead, look, like this video right now.
The thumbs up too, not the heart, the thumb.
The thumb, I need you to press that thumb right now.
It's going up too.
I want to see that. And in the meantime,
can I give a shout out real quick? Because we just had something phenomenal happen.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been watching Hey You There just joined the membership. I've been watching her for a minute.
Wow.
She's been testing this out. I think she was on the fence for a minute. We finally joined the membership because she loves to participate in that chat. And we appreciate you for finally giving us a chance to rock out with you. So thank you so much.
Welcome to the family.
Oh, and I'm gonna drop those books real quick too. Again, guys, if you just click the link in the library, all of the books that we discuss are usually going to be in there. So you got The Masculine in the Relationship by G.S. Youngblood. This is for the men. You got Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. And then you got Kingdom Warrior Magician Lover, which pretty much talks about the 4 phases of manhood. I forgot who it was by, but it's a really great book. All those books are great for men and men who want to be in healthy relationship with women, because women are extremely dynamic and Y'all are completely different from us, and y'all are a lot sometimes. Let's be real.
And let me and I want to ask this actually. It was funny. Ryan stopped by the house yesterday, and as I'm walking him by my spot, as I'm walking him back to his car, I live on the belt line. We got stopped on the belt line by a brother. I think he was like in his 50s, man.
60s.
He was in his 60s. He stopped us,
Been married for 30 years.
and I'm talking about was a huge fan of the show.
Nice.
And stopped us to tell us that, man, he loved the show. Just wanted to talk to us about it and
I
share
love
like
that.
everybody that loves the show. And what he stated was he has a daughter. And it's funny, we insinuated, it was like, okay, so yeah, how's your daughter doing? Is she married? He was like, sure. He started doing that. You know what somebody started, he started hitting those. And we're like, what you mean? What's going on? He's like, man, she got she started hitting it again. Start beatboxing. And I mean, like, what's going on with her? I mean, like, where is she? She's like, he lives in New York. She's an attorney, but he just wouldn't stop. And we still digging deep. He's like, yeah, I mean, like, but why you say that? Well, I mean, why didn't you think, she wants to get married? He's like, no, she wants to get married. He said, I just don't think that she's marriageable right now.
Mm.
And through him explaining this, he explained that she is not only a very busy attorney, but she also is a woman who is a big traveler as well. So if she's not busy working a very busy schedule, she's traveling all over the place. She's, not really in a place where she's very stable to date, I would say, or court very consistently with the schedule. And also because of kind of, her place in life, he almost hinted at this delusion as she kind of feels like she doesn't understand sacrifice. He was like, yeah, she even believes that. He was funny. He was like, yeah, she even believes that she flies all over the place, that just because, if she marries a man, she's going to be able to be even more free and fly even more all over the world.
Right.
He started hitting it all over again. And this is a brother who's been married for a very long time. So I'm interested to know, for the ladies who are, let's talk about the ladies who are very busy and might even be the big travelers, like the busy schedule, the nomadic ladies that's moving around. Would you say that to be more serious about dating or finding love, they might need to stay put? They might need to actually comb back on maybe some of the travel or vacation to be more engaged in their local city to seriously find love? Is that something that you might recommend to a woman with that lifestyle?
Where you spend your time and what you nurture shows what your commitment is to whatever that is. Sounds like she's committed to seeing the world. She's committed to certain things that she feels she does well. Because men are like this too. Men will often do what they feel they can do well. What they don't often recognize is they do it well because they're practicing it. So they're learning the ins and outs of that thing. They're learning how that thing moves and has its being, how it's fixed, how it's tweaked. So it's not that you're not good at relationships. You don't have any practice at it. You're good at this because it's where you spend your time. It's where you're getting affirmed. Oh, Ryan is the best leader ever. Man, he's done so much with our team. We're all getting bonuses. You're being affirmed in that space in part because that's where you're building muscle.
That's true.
So what we say to the women that we coach and try to help them recognize, a lot of the things you don't think you're good at, it's not really factual. You've not invested enough to understand how it works and what works to be able to be good at it.
And she's not, it sounds like she is not making dating a priority.
Right.
So we have a client that says she wants to date, right? And she's sharing with us that, she checked her messages from the dating site she hadn't checked in a long time. And she sees where some guys had reached out to her, and it had been weeks, and she had not responded because she was so busy.
Wow.
And so our response was, it sounds like
It's not a
it's
priority.
not a priority for you.
Mm.
Now you're saying that dating is a priority, right?
Right.
Yes. So if dating is a priority and you've done the work to put yourself in the space to meet eligible candidates, right? Eligible suitors
And gentlemen
and
callers.
gentlemen callers, and they are reaching out to you and you're not responding, then the signal is you're not interested and it's not a priority for you. So you've got to look and readjust your priorities and determine if this is something you're truly committed to.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes look at why it's not a priority. Men will say sometimes too, not trying to do that right now. Why? Why are you not trying to do that, but you're trying to do all these other things? A lot of times, if you go deeper, it's because you don't think you're going to be successful at it.
Mm.
You feel like you're going to be hurt. You feel like you're going to get stuck. You feel like you're not going to choose the right person. You feel like you're going to be used. You've got a lot of reasons why you are choosing to make other things a priority and not make this a priority.
And a lot of things we do as successful women too are self-soothing.
Yes.
The travel, right? You work hard. You are spending all your time at work. You are the Olivia Pope at home, at work, everywhere, right? And you self-soothe with traveling and shopping and all those things. And you feel as though I don't have time to wait for somebody else. Nobody checks on me. No, there's no man that's calling to see what I need. So I'm just going to take care of my own needs. And so it's a self-soothing mechanism that deprioritizes what you're actually looking for. Because you don't leave room for anybody to do it for you because you do it for yourself.
So we help women readjust cat-like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Cat-like behavior.
Yes.
Cat-like
behavior.
Cats are independent.
They lick
right?
themselves clean.
Yeah. They don't need you
they
to
don't
walk
move.
them. They don't, right?
Right.
You know, in a way of needing a whole lot.
Oh.
They do a lot for themselves. So we're like, let's unlearn some of that cat-like behavior that was created because of necessity, right? Created because of injury, created because of disappointment, and covenants that are like, I'm never doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
So let me now figure out how to care for all of my needs to a certain degree. And we're like, well, a lot of that is just going to keep you isolated.
I find that
like
women
that.
who, kind of go along that path, eventually they start to really identify as the rich auntie. Like they kind of embrace it. And, is they put it on social media and they kind of state it. But I have a rich auntie and she not happy.
Yeah, it's a persona.
Yeah.
It's a mask.
Right.
It's the rich auntie mask.
Because everybody calls her for everything, for all the money, all I met yours.
Oh yeah.
She definitely the rich auntie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
not.
just hit up.
Matter of fact, we go down there. I be wanting to hang out with her.
Let me tell you, we have so many women in our tribe that wear that mask. And it's not a happy place. It really isn't. When nobody calls to check on you, you only receive text messages when people need something, or calls when because they don't even give you the courtesy of a call anymore. You just get a text message to borrow some money, right? Or to fix something. And it's not a happy place to be when nobody calls to see how you're doing and if you need something. But it's a mask that we get really practiced in wearing, and we get affirmed. We get affirmed for wearing that mask.
And let me add one in there too, because this is where it can get really toxic, where you haven't been getting what you want so long that you just deny that you want it altogether.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And see, I see that happen so much, especially, man, let me tell you, it's been so many times that, because over the past few years, we've been really learning in this space. And it really made me just deal with certain women differently. Like I just dealt with a lot of women differently. And because me and Ryan talked about our casual experience, like us dating casually.
Don't bring that up
I
again.
found myself, I found myself now in today's day dating a lot less casually. I'm dating a lot more seriously at this point. But when I was dating casually, when I knew, like when my mind now better understood the right mindset of attracting the right person, I started really noticing some of the hypocrisies in a lot of the things that ladies will say. Because there'll be some young women, when we talking about what we want, the young woman be like, oh, I want marriage, I want this, I want that. And I'll be sitting right in front of them and they'll be like, what you want? And at the time, whether it was like a year and a half back, I'll be like, I don't want nothing serious right now. I'm casual. And I'll notice they'll start shape shifting what they want to still be able to fit in that conversation and be able to stay in a relationship with me.
Mm.
And that's when I realized, I was like, fellas, y'all trust me, y'all don't have to lie to people. You don't have to lie to women, because it's really sad. Most women will really adjust what they want. And it was one young lady in particular, it got so bad. She literally tried to convince me that what she had just told me she wanted, she didn't really want that much because she wasn't really ready for it.
Wow.
Like literally, she was like, yeah, I mean, I know I do want a marriage, but I don't really have time for it right now because I'm focused on building this and I'm focused on building that. And I really even had to call her out. I was like, what you saying is very dangerous right now.
Yeah.
Because like you're literally lying to yourself to be able to get what you wanted. Because she probably wanted what she had in front of her right there at that moment.
Yeah.
But at the cost of something way greater.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting her with this. I had her with a line of question that was crazy. I caught up. I said, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you believe that if you get a long-term partner who's qualified, I know you're busy,
Mm-hmm.
but if you happen to find somebody, a long-term quality partner, do you believe you'll be a better woman? She said, absolutely, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. So this thing you building, that you spend all your time building, that you're so busy building, do you think with a great partner, you could still build it? Absolutely, I can still build it. Because if it's the right man, he gonna help me do this, he gonna help me do that. Okay. Do you think that man that will slow you down at any point to building to this thing? Absolutely not. Then a light bulb just went off. She was like, okay, Ty. He was like, okay, Ty. But I say that because it may be some of y'all ladies in here that's doing that same thing.
Yeah.
Not lying to yourselves about what you want because it ain't working. Always claim and own what you want, even if it sounds scary, even if you have not had success at it before. Keep it real with yourself.
Right.
So you could hold yourself accountable. So you could keep, be honest. Even when you out of line, at least know that you out of line. But
Do you feel worthy of what you want? That's a real question. Do you feel worthy of what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Worthiness gives you permission to want what you've not yet experienced, to want what's going to build legacy, and to believe that the actions that you are putting forward can actually create that. When you don't feel that you're worthy, the other person gets to go first in telling you what you can have, in telling you what you should expect. You've got to go first for yourself. That's what part of what doing your work gives you, is the ability to offload so much that's probably been inherited from other people that often weren't trying to do you harm, but they had their own injuries. So as hurt people, they hurt you. Now you walk around with all that inside your body. So let me say this to men and women. If you've not talked about your trauma, because our folks say some of the strangest things to us. Mm-hmm. They're like, I'm not talking to nobody about that. If you haven't talked about it, it's still in your body. Everywhere you go, it goes with you. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you get a new purse, doesn't matter if you get a new car, doesn't matter if you get a new house. Everywhere you go, it goes with you because it's still inside. You haven't talked about it to let it out. So it's still navigating and managing a whole lot of stuff that it shouldn't have the power to, just because you're not willing to create an advisory board that can help you figure out what's not serving you.
Ooh, you cannot run. You cannot hide. It is right inside. And listen, y'all better get these likes up, because what I'm about to do.
20 away. We're about 20 away.
Let me tell you. First of all, listen. if y'all are open, and just only if y'all are open, to getting blessed, I want y'all to put the word bless in the chat right now. I want to see the word bless. Go in the chat right now if y'all want Dr. Nicole and Miss Crystal to bless the hardly initiated
15
family
more.
right here.
Yeah, we got 500 people in the
Put
chat
them
right
likes in. Yes. Welcome in here. Put bless in the chat right now if y'all want to
Love
do
it.
this.
Bless.
And I want to see these likes
Love it.
pile up.
Love it.
now. And just briefly, I'm about
we
to
need
open it up.
300.
I'm about to open it up for subscribers just briefly.
Yes.
Because I like to look out for my members, but I'm gonna open the chat
Oh
up
my
to
gosh,
everybody.
it's coming
Anybody
in.
who subscribes.
Ooh, she put, hey, shout out to y'all of these show always showing love.
Shout out to Yali, man. Shout out to Yali. Drop that super chat. She says, bless. That's a special
We are
one.
4
I
likes
love that.
away.
Shout out
I
to my
need 4
girl
likes.
JJ. She says, oh yeah. She says,
Hey,
this is
Yali. Hey, JJ.
JJ says, this is for my aha moment. Self-soothing, but was pretty much thing that's blown away. So I think a lot of ladies and men having an aha moment tonight.
You know what?
And I just wanted to say real quick, because I agree with y'all. You know, after we had that show, y'all check the description, guys. The show that we did with y'all was very powerful. How to know the man is serious. I started to pick up different things on things I already listened to. So I listen to Joe Rogan. You know, he's actually one of the guys I look up to in this podcasting space. And you know, I'm not sure how y'all feel about that. And he was talking about Hugh Hefner. And he was saying that, you know, Hugh Hefner died at 80 some odd years old, and everybody thinks he lived this great life, which he was a very disciplined man in some regards, right? He built this wonderful business, but he's like, yo, he probably had a most miserable life, you know? And he says that the reason he says that is because out of all the things he was so great at, the discipline that he didn't pick up was discipline in relationships. Because he says that people don't understand, especially as men and women, that a relationship is not just a commitment, it's a discipline.
It is.
He's like talked about how he done jujitsu for all his life. And he talked about he compared his relationship to the exact same thing. And he says, because he thinks of it as a discipline, he operates in a completely different way. So what are y'all general thoughts about that? Oh, wait, Tyshawn is ready.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
not,
Go
like,
ahead. Listen,
I mean, we
start.
told the people at 300
We did. Let's do
that
it.
we're gonna do something.
Let's do it.
Let's keep our word and do what we said we was gonna do, because we are a platform of integrity. So what we're gonna do?
We got so many
is
blessings.
we gonna
going
bless.
crazy.
They still putting the word blessing here.
Wow.
So we will bless you guys, because yes, Harley Initiated has strategically made sure we have partnered with these wonderful, amazing coaches to be able to get y'all to the next level. And I want y'all to put them on game on what the amazing community y'all have put together for our people.
Well, we are the yummy girls. The yummy girls, right?
I like the way that sounds.
Me too.
like the way
Yummy
that sounds.
Need those in my life.
Yes. But yummy is an acronym, ladies, for your ultimate, most meaningful yet. Right? There's a lot of good things you can do in the world, but are you living your yummy life? Are you in your yummy relationship? Are you on your yummy career journey? So we are focused on helping women unbind and unleash their ultimate potential to live their yummy life. And we have a yummy membership, phenomenal group of women from all over the nation that have come together. And we are focused on spiritual. We do prayer and meditation. We do self-care. We have an amazing community of not just women, ladies, but women who can do for you what you do for everybody else. Now that's powerful right there.
Think
Right.
about that.
Thank you.
I like that, Lano.
Think
I like
about
that.
Women that can see through your sexy excuses.
Damn.
Okay? Because the smarter we are, the more brilliant you are, the sexier your excuses are. But when you are in a community of sisters that are like-minded, they can call you out on your sexy excuses. They can help you do your work. We create a safe space where these women can come together and shine their light. And what's most powerful about our community is we don't dim in our community. If you got 100-watt light bulb, we need it turned all the way up, because in the world today, we often are walking around with 100-watt light bulb that's dimmed down to 10%. Because I'm afraid what you might think. Because you might think that, oh, she thinks she got this and you're all that, right? So we dim our light, we set ourselves on fire to keep other people warm. In our community, we want you to turn your light all the way up, and it's game changing. We are seeing women, like we said, get in relationships, build the families, have babies that they wanted. We are seeing women leave corporate America and start the businesses that they want. We are seeing women grow in corporate America, invest in their leadership, take the next steps to move forward, get out of their comfort zones, and make the sacrifices necessary to get to the next level.
I love that.
I like that
And
too.
what is the group? You said it come with a few classes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
First off, we know what it come with. We're gonna let them say it because this is the thing, guys. We've been
Yes.
searching like night and day
No, really,
to find
y'all.
the right people to partner with and to bring this experience, this community to our
At a
community.
high level.
Yes, because this thing, me and Tyshawn can do a lot of things, but transformation when it comes to this level,
Especially for the ladies.
yeah, we just not equipped. But y'all got the juice.
Yeah, so let them know some of the live classes that y'all holding in this community.
So, we create a safe space for you to get the tools, many of them that you didn't even know that you needed. And what we say is what we bring into the conversation is not stuff that you're going to maybe need. It's stuff that you will absolutely need. And will you have them when you need them?
Right.
It's the type of stuff that's going to move you out of, we've had women who've said, I haven't dated in years. I want to date, but I haven't dated. And we're like, all right, let's go. Let's get into the deep end of the pool on this in a safe way that doesn't compromise your safety, compromise who you are, but starts to get you some practice at creating the life that you want. To be able to come together with amazing women to pray and meditate every other week virtually, where you don't have to leave your bed, but you are freeing your mind and you are creating the spiritual foundation, fortifying that foundation to be able to create the business and the relationships that you really deserve, to be able to have self-care sessions where you're coming together and you're like, you know what? I haven't been on my list in a long time. So it's affected me in some ways. Listen, when you're not on your list, it's hard to be sexy.
Right.
And let me tell y'all, ladies, I mean, they giving y'all live classes with an amazing community of women,
Absolutely.
a ton of resources, workbooks. I mean, it's truly incredible.
Yeah.
And
I'm ready to drop this thing, man, because
no,
Yeah. I mean, so being in a space where you're with women who see you and you're with coaches who can hold you accountable to your highest and your best in business and relationships, because you don't want to just be successful in one. You want to be successful in the total relationship, is what we say. Your relationships at work, with your boss, with your colleagues, in leadership, your relationship with your siblings, your parents as adults, your relationship with romance, anything that has not been a narrative that you want to celebrate, let's shift it. Let's turn it up and let's turn things around. So what we're able to do is bring women into our community and fill you up so you live from the saucer.
ooh,
And-
Your
and
game
you know-
is from the saucer, not from the cup
Man.
anymore. It's crazy.
And let's just be honest. Some of you listening, we are in our community. We have a hashtag, I am she. I am she. When you hear something that we say, one of your sisters says that resonates with you, it's I am she. She stands for service, humility, and excellence. Because that's the woman that we serve, right? And let's just be honest, ladies. Some of us just need a new circle of friends.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
sorry.
amen.
You
Amen.
just need a new
second that
circle of friends.
Yeah.
You've got friends that have a shared past with you, but do they have a shared future with you? Are they on the same track with you? Can they have those conversations that are safe to have and you know you'll never hear it again? Right? Can they call you out on your stuff? Can they share? Can they be vulnerable and give you the permission to be vulnerable? This is a new circle of friends, and our women come from all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to see what happens in that space. We have the conversations that you can't have anywhere else.
Well, the anticipation is crazy. What these women got to do to get what we got to do?
That's a fact.
What we got to do?
We need y'all to drop the link for the Yummy membership.
I'm gonna drop the
Okay,
link.
y'all. So we're gonna drop the link, and I think it's some even. I think it's some even more special because y'all know we don't play about our personal development here on a Harley Initiated platform, and obviously with this kind of group, it's an investment. But I think we're gonna take care of our people, right? Can we please take care of our Harley Initiated family, please?
Absolutely. Because one of the things we know is that as a people, we're not cultured in investing in ourselves.
It's still new,
right? It's still new. It's still new. So our membership program, it comes with, these are virtual calls, but they're live. Dr. Nicole and I are on there. We have an amazing group of coaches that are serving these women. So you get the bi-weekly self-care meditation. Prayer and meditation, bi-weekly self-care. You get a group call with Dr. Nicole and I where we're focused on building the tools to enhance your career or your business. You get a treasure trove of resources in what we call our vault. Right. We've got a Yummy vault. You get access to all our videos. You get workbooks. You get assessments, tools. It's so many resources in here. You get a digital course on relationships. It's so many tools. It's an abundance of resources in here. Right.
And whether you're in a relationship or you're single.
Absolutely. Relationship or single. It is $397 a month for Ryan and Tyshawn.
We had a strong arm.
Always strong arm.
What y'all gonna do for the people? What y'all gonna do for the people?
It is offered at over 50% off, ladies, at $197 a month.
Let's get it.
And for those of you who want to do a full 12-month investment, you get even more savings. Yeah.
So y'all listen, you talk about a therapy budget right there. That's therapy on crack right there. That's to the next level. With all the, I looked at it and the first thing I said was, yo, Dr. Nicole, can we get this for the men? Because I want to take care of our men the same way. And it's such a robust program to put together. I understand, fellas, we're going to take care of you. We got something very powerful coming. But fellas, y'all already know we always complaining about all the things the ladies ain't doing right, all the things that's happening here. So we put something together for the sisters. All right. And ladies, y'all better listen. Please take action because that will be a blessing to you in your life. Because I've met Dr. Nicole and Miss Crystal, and everything that y'all see through the screen is even better in real life.
Well, see, what they don't know as a secret is that we had a meeting. It was an impromptu meeting. Because we have been developing a relationship with y'all for some time, and then we randomly ran into each other. I think it was
random, not random.
Random, not random. Ran into each other. And
at the Black Effect Podcast.
At the Black Effect Podcast Festival. And we started a conversation and we told you that we pretty much had decided to go dark. And y'all was like, oh no. We gotta have y'all got look, we're gonna take y'all y'all took us out. And I think that probably began like a mentorship type of relationship with you guys mentoring us. And we probably hung out for a few hours. And pretty much Miss Crystal was like, look, I'm gonna pray for y'all because I know y'all do not need to do that.
This is higher than that.
Yeah. And you told us that we had a much bigger purpose and where we was gonna go. And I remember when I text you and I was like, okay, we good now. We good.
We on the straight and narrow.
I said, thank you.
Because we almost went real crazy with it. And we glad we didn't. And this is
I'm glad
for sure.
No, facts, because everybody's here and everybody's been getting the transformations, us included, with all the conversations that we've been having that we need to have and we're gonna continue to have. And we want to also equip y'all, especially the family, with the resources that y'all need to have. Because it's one thing to have conversations, is another thing to actually put the tools in place to really change your life. Okay.
Game changer.
And to know what the tools are and what science is saying about it. Right. There are a lot of people out here that are saying a whole lot of stuff and you're like, I don't know who to believe. I don't know what to believe. And we're like, okay, there's got to be a bridge between the science of what works, the spiritual direction, and guidance and wisdom, because this phone is pretty smart, but it's not wise.
Right.
There's a difference, right? And being able to speak into the lives of women who are really like, I want something different. And I know I'm being called to something different. I just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I love about our community is that it's maskless. A lot of us have been wearing masks for so long that we're like, we don't even know how heavy it is.
Mass plural.
And Ryan, if you
Plural
can,
masks.
drop
Yeah.
that link one more time. And what I want you to do, actually, Ryan, because I actually really like that question that you did ask prior, because I actually do want to kind of get back to the conversation as well.
Yeah.
Because y'all, look, take action is there. It's going to be in the description and it's going to be in the chat. We're going to keep putting it in there for you guys to access it. And for the people tonight, y'all, we actually got the promo code. The promo code is what now?
Hardly
Hardly
initiated.
Oh,
initiated.
it's hardly initiated.
Hardly
word.
initiated
One word.
is the
One
promo
word.
code to get over 50% off. And that is for my people on the Hardly Initiated video tonight. Y'all take action on that.
Yeah.
But you asked a really good question, Ryan, about it was about the Hugh Hefner and
Yeah.
him being potentially depressed and dissatisfied, and the discipline aspect, how Joe Rogan actually saw his relationship as a discipline, which I thought was actually kind of dope. But what was your question though? Because you actually asked a really good question. Do you remember? Because I kind of want to go. I want to go there.
I gotta think about it. To be honest with you.
Okay, it's cool. It's cool. Don't
But
worry about
listen, I just want the ladies to know that this is different. Like
Yeah.
because we've had other people on the show and we trust the other people anytime we have something for our audience. But this is
Mhm.
different because we are going to be continuously working with you guys and
Absolutely.
how to make the community better. So one of the things, because we've talked to our members, we've talked to countless people that we run into, and again, they have presented things with us that I know Tyshawn and I are not equipped to handle.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really like that, the people we spoke to have stated is like, hey, look, they like, first thing is like, especially the women, they're like, oh, I know you can't help me with this.
Mhm.
But from what I see from y'all, I do trust y'all to bring the right people into my life to be able to help me with this guidance.
Absolutely.
And so this is something that we're not just doing this one time thing. We're going to see them back again and again and again on the show. We're going to be regularly communicating with Dr. Nicole and Crystal about how to improve these things. And
Yep.
we, especially once we get our members active in the community, we are going to be sharing the transformations that are happening. So I do want to let you know that I really appreciate you all for giving us the opportunity to work with
Thank
you
you.
all. And we trust these ladies. Like I said, these ladies at this point are mentors to us. And, we trust that they're going to take care of y'all. So please join the community, especially if you pretty much are identifying with all the things that they're saying.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to figure out how to take care of the guys as well. But this, for the ladies, we finally figured this piece out,
Yeah.
which is a major portion of our audience, over 60% of our audience. So please join that membership. And I think the question, I don't know the question. Let's just move on to the next thing.
I just want to
forgot.
say we appreciate
You
your
guys.
trust.
Yeah.
We appreciate. I love that you are pouring into the community, and this is what we talked about at the table that night, right? You're
Mhm.
giving resources for the guys and for the ladies. Books. It's so important, the inputs that we receive, because you can listen. You guys could be listening to anybody tonight, but you're listening to us, right? And what you see and what you are experiencing here is a conversation of mutual respect and honor for one another. There's no contempt, right? We are sitting here and we are sharing. We have an open, safe dialogue. And that's what we believe in as a community. So we have shared mutual interests, and we are committed to serving you in humility and excellence, which is I am she. And for the ladies who make this investment in yourself, it's immediate access. You will immediately receive access to the Yummy portal where you can start doing your work, because that's what it comes down to. You are the guarantee you've been looking for. We
And-
give you the keys to help unlock that.
And it's based on our Yummy method, right? So again, Yummy is an acronym, your ultimate, most meaningful yet. But what we figured out was you had to have a liberated mindset. So often our mind is set on what we've been taught, what we've seen, And often it's not what we want to duplicate, but we don't know how to create a different pathway. So what we figured out is how to help you have a mind shift so that what you activate in your life is going to help you move to the next level, and you'll experience accelerated growth. You'll experience acceleration in the outcomes that are most meaningful to you. And then you'll do it over again, and you'll do it over again. And you're just going from next level to next level to next level in community with like-minded women who, again, we can't say it enough, who can do for you what you do for everybody else. And we know what you do for everybody else. Most of you are in everybody's top 5. Period.
For everything.
For everything. They're like, call her if you need crisis management. Call her if you need a reunion plan. Whatever it is.
You need to borrow some money.
Yeah, call them, right? But who can you call?
I want to, that's such a good point. I think we kind of got into this the last time with our last show, but I want to speak to the people on here now, because I keep seeing this as a consistent conversation, and I don't think we got it right yet.
Okay.
But what would you say might be the number one reason? I hear this a lot in the space. Her picker is off, right? What would you say might be the number one reason a woman's picker is off as it relates to the men that she brings into her life?
The first step in our method is liberation for a reason. It is liberation for a reason.
That's the first step in what
In
now?
our
In the
yummy
yummy
method.
methodology.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Right? So everything starts with having a liberated mindset. You don't even know half the times why you do some of the things that you do, but a lot of what you do is anchored to how you see certain information, how it's received, and how you respond to it.
Mhm.
So what we talk about is your picker is not off. You have a mindset that is drawing where you are. So if you don't like where you are, you got to shift. But often shifting takes community. Because if you could do it by yourself, as achievement oriented as so many women are, you would have done it by now.
Mm.
And that's not shade or shame.
Right.
We all need community.
You only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know.
We all need community. So when, for example, real example, when we talk to women about what the research says about 4 of the top predictors of divorce, they often sit there and say, I had no idea. I had no idea what those were. I didn't even know that existed. So you're trying to tell me that contempt, what we used to make fun of when we rolled the eyes and we're like, and you're blowing off the other person. You're trying to tell me that that's number one predictor of divorce?
Contempt.
Contempt.
Number
This
one
is-
predictor.
This is what
And give me what exactly is contempt? So for my people like
Disregard for another person.
Disregard.
Disregard for
me,
them.
So you know that look when you like, don't listen to your daddy. He don't know what he's talking about.
when you being dismissive.
Yes.
And folk are like, huh? So this is what we're saying. A lot of it is not that you're not doing it well because you're bad at it. A lot of it is you're not doing it well because you don't know what you don't know.
And it's something that you may have learned. Maybe you saw that in your household with your parents,
Mm.
right? And it's a normal thing
Yeah.
in your household and in your family structure. But it is the number one predictor of divorce.
And you may be saying, well, it's better than having an argument. No, it's not.
Oh.
Right? But these are things that we often learn. A lot of people say, I don't want to have the type of relationship my parents had. I love them, I respect them, but I want something a little different.
I hear that all the time.
Right?
Mhm.
We hear it all the time. But where did you learn how to do relationships? From your parents. That's no shade to them, but honestly, when we bet on ourselves and we recognize I'm the guarantee that I've been looking for, I just need some different tools, a different group of friends, and the opportunity to practice in a safe place where I'm not going to be judged.
For less than dinner and a movie a month,
to have a change in conversation
Right?
and a
Mm.
transformation in the life that I want to have.
Yes.
Come on now. Come on.
Give yourself a chance.
So the reason they pick her off is because it's where they are in their life.
It's always about you.
Oh,
And
Always
when
about
you
you.
say where they are in their life, that's not money, right?
No.
Because you can have
That's
some money.
mindset.
It's mindset. Where is your mind set? And is the dial that it's set on going to get you what you want or get you what you don't want?
So it's not that dating is just bad in Atlanta. That's not what it is.
It's your mindset.
It's your mind.
Now, is that true? Now, let me ask you this. Is it true that it could be better to, like, for example, is there some truth to Atlanta's not a good city to date in?
Yes.
Oh, so that there
Yes.
can be some truth to
Culture
that.
can affect, just like Ryan shared about the community in Japan, right? With the centurions.
Yeah.
Right.
Okinawa, Japan.
Okinawa, Japan. Their community is set, right? To encourage community, fun, coming together,
Health,
connection,
everything.
health. Atlanta has a community. There's a culture here,
Okay.
right? There's a culture that has been bred, and it makes it very difficult for people to date.
What's a good city for a woman to find a husband in?
Right.
Like, no, like
Right.
what is a healthy culture? Like, what is a healthy culture to dating? Because I mean, obviously, we see what an unhealthy culture is, right?
Yeah.
Because I think Atlanta is the reason say it's sex culture, right? It's hookup culture.
Mhm.
It's bougie, bad and bougie culture. It's a very worldly culture.
Mhm.
It's a superficial culture.
The mask, yeah.
Like it's all of those things.
Mhm.
But you can find segments in any culture that speak to what you value.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you roll with the bad and bougie, then what you get is bad and bougie. That's why we're saying you need a new circle of friends.
Yeah.
And they exist, but you can't align yourself with what you don't want and then wonder why you're getting what you don't want.
Mm.
Man, yeah, true story. I was in a local sports bar here in Atlanta yesterday, and I was telling Nicole about it. I was there with a friend, and I told her, I was like, I do not fit in those spaces, and I think people can look at me and tell that I don't.
First
fit
of all,
in.
you said sports bar. I was like, wait.
Right.
What sports bar you at?
Right. But just thinking about it, if there are places where you can go and you're not going to attract the quality of what you're looking for. Right. So you're in that, you are putting you're immersing yourselves in environments that culturally is not facilitating healthy connections.
See, but the beauty is because you are where you are, you're gonna be in that environment and be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Right. You
Every week. You're going to go to that same sports bar every week.
right. But see, you can't.
No,
because that ain't for you.
Right.
And it don't even sit right with your spirit.
Exactly.
And they over there dancing and hollering and having a good old time in that ratchet sports bar.
Right.
Feeling right at home in there.
But isn't that what we talked about in the last show when we talked about appetite and bait?
Yeah.
Right. You trying to catch bass and you going where all the catfish are.
Yeah.
Right. And you using catfish bait. And then you wondering why you catching catfish.
Because you catfish.
That makes sense.
That's what it is, baby girl.
Every system is perfectly designed to get the result that it gets.
Yeah.
If you don't like the result, change the system.
Yeah.
The result will change.
Woo!
And that's what we do in our tribe. We just change it up.
Yeah.
And we hold you accountable to what you say you want and love you into making the moves that's going to manifest that in your life.
That's huge, bro. Well, who is this Orlando guy, bro?
Let me tell you, Orlando is the big homie. That's who
honestly,
he the big dog.
Orlando, send us a DM, man. You might get a live show.
Right.
You might get invited. You keep sending these. You keep sending these.
He the big dog because our Orlando blessings? Every time he come to the chat, he drop $100.
Oh, that's
he awesome. Just drop $100. He just drop. Hey, listen, Orlando, you really advancing this soundproofing that's about to go down in this studio. You see how close I got to be to this mic for it to sound good? I'm gonna be able to sit back and do a show. Orlando, all thanks to
That's
you, man.
awesome,
I
Orlando.
appreciate everybody that goes ahead and send us a super chat. I want to let you guys know, send your super chats in now because these wonderful ladies are not going to be here forever. Okay, we're going to be closing out soon. So y'all better go ahead and send in these super chats now. Send those super chats in with your questions so I can be able to facilitate them and get them in. Of course, outside the people who join the community, because those who joined the Yummy community, you guys will, of course, still be able to tap in. So y'all better not let that opportunity go by
And shout
because
out
we had to
to,
pull some strings for them to do what they did for y'all
Okay.
here today and tonight.
Okay.
That's a
Tell me,
fact.
say that again.
Yeah.
We
Pull
did
some
have to pull out
strings.
some strong strings. Shout out to Jonathan too. He says, "May I have a yummy girl, please, Lord?"
And so, fellas, what we're gonna do for the men, the graduating class of 2023 of Yummy, we will give it the qualified fellas. We will be going about setting you guys up on a Yummy girl date. All right.
Congratulations. Shout out to
Word.
Naomi for sending that super chat in, and again, shout out to Orlando, man. That's love. That's really putting us over the top. And Tarshawn, what do you think about this? Because I know the ladies are, they gotta just, don't have that much time with us, before we gotta, let them go to sleep. But
Yes.
are you open to the listeners deciding what we talk about next between the fear of rejection, fear of failure, and trust issues? What you think?
Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Just
Go ahead.
briefly.
Go ahead.
So look, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys determine the last couple of things we talk about before we let these beautiful ladies go ahead and get some beauty rest. So I just dropped a poll, guys. What should we cover? Should we cover trust issues, the fear of failure, or the fear of rejection? We're gonna at least cover one of these last
and
topics.
the poll is in. Shout
The
out to
poll is up.
Anitra Alexander.
It's coming in, guys. Let's get to 50 votes on this because we had about 458 in the chat right now, which is dope. So once we get to 50 votes, I'm gonna go ahead and make that decision. And shout out to Anitra. Anitra just dropped that 20 piece, which is much appreciated because this is
Much love. Much love.
Anitra knows that every penny counts toward us getting the studio soundproof. So I know y'all might not be able to hear it, guys, but it's a little things that me and Tyshawn just want to get perfect as we do this live and as we go ahead and drop this thing on the live stream on the YouTube. So we are officially at 50 votes. And guys, it looks like trust issues. I'm gonna stop it. 1 minute. That was the quickest we ever had 50 votes. 1 minute, 53 votes. They want to talk about trust issues. I like that one.
Yeah, because first of all, the men and the women got trust issues. That's just the culture we live in.
Yeah, just culture.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just lack of trust altogether.
We
Absolutely.
weren't often taught the
How to
right
trust.
way to trust.
Yeah, Chris Brown told us they ain't loyal.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
That's all was based on trust issues.
It was based on a lot of stuff, but
Well,
fact.
often, we've been taught trust people until they give you reason not to. That's the worst way to develop trust.
We start at 100 and then we start deducting as people show us who they are, right? We start at 100% trust and start deducting. Terrible way.
Terrible. You're going to have increased betrayal. You're going to have increased disappointment. You're going to get into some situations and you're going to be standing there saying, how did I not see this? Well, you weren't working from the right metric. The metric that you want is the one that's been proven by Gottman, where he talks about worthiness for trust. Trustworthiness, as if it's two words. We know that it's not, but trustworthiness is what I want to trust you in. Do I have evidence that you are worthy of trust in that area? So I don't grant you with trust because I want to trust you. I don't grant you with trust because you're fine. I grant you with trust because what I want to trust you with, I can see that you are worthy of that. I've got data that says, you know what? You do what you say you're going to do. I can see that data. I see consistency of that data. Now, I want to trust you with something that data says that there's a likelihood that you can handle it. You've shown evidence that you've got some muscle mass in that area versus, no, I'm just going to trust you because I think you're cute. And then when you show that you're atrophied, that your muscle is weak, that you don't have discipline in any of what I want to trust you in, I'm ready to call you names. I'm ready to tell people that you dogged me. I'm ready to say all this stuff when the truth of the matter is, I didn't have any reason to trust you with that.
And now, but see, here's the issue. That place that you in right now, you take that place to the next relationship. And I think that's where the trust issues come in, because now the next person is starting off in a negative,
Right.
Absolutely.
in a negative place that they really don't deserve to be in. So I get you saying don't start somebody off at 100%
Mhm.
because they ain't earned 100%. But we shouldn't be starting folks off at negative either, because they ain't earned negative. The last dude earned negative.
Mhm.
So where should we, what's a healthy play? Where should we be at that beginning starting point when I first meet somebody to give them a clean slate?
Good question.
Get to know them and realize your power.
Mhm.
I can be very good at making sure that I am not betrayed if I use the right trust metric. The last person that did this to me, I wasn't using the right metric. I may say it's all about them, but truth be told, a lot of the things that I wanted to trust them with, I had no evidence that they could handle what I wanted to trust them with.
Mhm.
So, not that it was my fault, I just had the wrong information. Now that I have right information, I don't have to look at you negatively because I know how to do this differently. It's a whole lot of power when I know how to do it differently. What makes me look at you negatively is when I'm taking the same tools that didn't work back there into this new situation, and I'm looking at you side eye, because the truth of the matter is, I know I don't have anything different than what I have back there. You're different, but I don't have a different tool. So I'm still working with bubble gum in the back of a shoe.
And one of the things we say in our community is manage yourself.
Mm.
So coming into a relationship, when you want to come into a relationship with managed expectations. I have managed my expectations that you are going to show up who you are. And when you show up and when you show me who you are, I'll believe that. I don't expect you to hurt me. I don't expect you to be a cheater. I don't expect you to be my husband. I don't expect you to be my lover. I expect you to be who you show me you are. Managing your expectations from the beginning is very important. A lot of times we jump ahead, right? Or we bring trauma that makes us jump ahead of the conversation. And we already have expectations on a very basic level. We just, with whoever we relate to, the basic expectation is do no harm. I'm not going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt me. We go out on this date. I'm going to safely make it back home, right? Other than that, I'm on a date, which means I'm collecting data.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know you. I'm sharing who I am and I'm learning about you. But I have not already jumped ahead in my mind, and I'm sitting there while we eating thinking, will he be a good father? Will he be a good husband? Is this the man God has for me? No, I'm just getting to know you. I'm just collecting data. Very, very simple. It changes the way we date.
And you don't want to disrespect the process. It has a process. Dating appropriately has a process. Like Crystal said, I just met you. I should not be thinking, is this coffee date going to manifest in you being my husband? I just met you 10 minutes ago.
It's that thirsty energy.
10 minutes ago, right? Or a man that's like, I just met you 10 minutes ago and I am already deciding who you are or who you're not. That kind of energy is not going to get you in a legacy building position.
And I think I want to go back and tie it to what Ryan said in the beginning. The number one reason, right, why people have fear of commitment is lack of vulnerability. And that's linked to the trust issues as well. We don't communicate. We're not vulnerable. And what happens is when you're not vulnerable, you don't know how to use the tools of boundaries. right? So what you do is you build walls. And when you build walls, you attract predators.
Who want to scale them. They just want to get over the wall.
Interesting.
Wow.
They just want to get over the wall.
So it's like, oh wow. So it's like you just become a challenge.
Absolutely.
Period.
Wow.
Interesting.
Period.
Interesting.
Okay.
I've been that guy.
Right?
I have absolutely been the guy who really like because you just know because different guys are in different phases of their life. Some guys are literally just on the hunt. That's just the reality of the situation. They literally just on the hunt.
Low hanging fruit.
They're in it for the kill. I mean, it can be high hanging fruit. I mean, just he just really takes pride in that one. But still, it's just all the hunt. And if you're in a place in your life where you want to legacy build and build long-term relationships, you could be able to sniff out somebody in the hunt if you just have certain conversations. But you got to intentionally be able to, be in a place where you even are asking those questions. And that's the thing. We talked about that too all the time. Like what we should be talking about. We talk about the wrong things when we dating these folks. We not figuring out these folks' values. You're not figuring out what their actual real intentions are, even though that's something so basic. Like it's just the basic stuff we not doing. We talking about what your sign is. We talking about where you work. We talking about, what you like to do.
Well, if I haven't figured out my values, looking at you and figuring out your values is not a priority because I haven't figured out mine.
Right.
So when we start with us, the women in our tribe say it all the time. They're like, I had no idea that I didn't know how to date. I didn't know how to date. I thought it was looking a certain way and that's it. And it's so much more to it to making sure that you are attracting somebody that's aligned with you.
We have a client that we were talking about self-worth, right? And the number one relationship we have is the relationship with ourselves. And what happens is when you have low self-worth, you've got a song, you got a tune in your mind that's constantly telling you you're not good enough, you're not valuable, you can't do it, right? And what we will sometimes do is bring in the choir. That tune in my mind is singing alto. I'm gonna let you bring you in as a tenor. I'm gonna bring you in as the bass, right? And so what people around you are doing is helping you sing the song that's already in your head. And you've looked for them. You've attracted them without even knowing it. You have created your own choir that's telling you you're not good enough.
Yep.
Versus if the song we reprogram, we mind shift. And the song is, I'm valuable, I'm worthy. God created me in his own image. Jeremiah 29:11, to prosper me and not to harm me, right? And you start thinking, you think differently, you shift. Then you start looking for people that's going to sing that tune. And you attract people in your life that sing that tune. That's a better song, ladies. That's a better song.
You got to change that frequency, baby.
Yeah.
You got to change that joint.
And if they off key, you know it instantly.
Absolutely.
If they're off key,
sing the song like I wrote it, Annie.
Hey, that's an inside joke. I don't know what they laughing at.
Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all too young for
He
that.
never seen the movie.
Oh my.
Oh, he's never
Oh
seen
my
it.
God.
Oh, y'all gonna be doing that all day with me. Don't even start.
Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna have to. If that is the tune that's playing, anybody that comes along and they're not on the right frequency, you'll know it instantly.
Yeah, you off key.
And you won't justify it.
Hold on, ladies. Let me tell y'all. We're gonna end because we're gonna end it on some of these questions that we got here because y'all knocked that trust issues out the park. Yes, if y'all got trust issues, make sure just play this back, watch it again. But Ryan, let's get to some of those last few in there.
I would say watch the whole episode. Again.
Watch the whole episode. Get these final super chats in because it is wrapping up. It is final. It is happening. Let's get to it.
Shout out to Tiffany Jones, who just joined the YouTube channel membership. Tiffany, we appreciate you. Shout out to CT Rob, who sent over a super chat, which is dope. Rob, we appreciate you.
Love.
Shout out to Nicole. She says, we can't trust everybody. Even salt looks like sugar. That was smooth. That was clever. That was Shout out to Matrix RC. Says, next topic, is it healthy to be dating and married to an introvert that is sarcastic and pessimistic.
Oh boy, that's real
Shots
specific.
fired.
Yeah.
Shots
Really?
fired on that one.
Shade of it all.
Yeah, that was some shade right there.
Criticism is not healthy.
Make sure you might got to call in and give us the tea on that one. That would sound kind of interesting.
Wait, that's introverted and pessimistic. That's a strange combination of a character of a man right there. Introverted and pessimistic.
Yes.
So he just sound like a the evil, quiet, evil.
Yo, shout out to Orlando. What drugs you selling, man?
Bruh, facts. He just dropped
He
it.
just dropped it.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
See, and the ladies think that it's not successful black men.
Yo, Orlando, drop your. I'm telling you, this man, he doesn't even chat.
Yeah.
He just literally dropped money.
Well,
He
he's
just
no. So
recognized
this thing, first
good.
off, Orlando dropped his profession. He's a truck driver, so he literally may be on the road right now.
Oh,
So that may be a
love
little
that.
dangerous for him.
Love
But
that.
Hey, well, look, risk your life to put your IG handling because I want to meet you real quick. So
Yeah. Shout out to Orlando, man, keeping
Yeah.
it 1,000 in the
Love
chat. That's amazing. We need that.
somebody
Orlando.
put
Thank you.
Orlando. I'm single AF. Hello.
That's what I'm saying. Orlando's single.
Hey, that's superficial. It ain't about the money. Stop that.
Exactly. See,
Your pick us off.
they say
Wrong
Orlando.
with that woman in there. See, watch this episode.
She appreciates a man that appreciates quality content.
Ah.
Oh, look at that. Look at
Says,
that.
Yali says Orlando's an angel investor. Shout out to
Yeah.
Nicole and Yali, man.
Was that all the questions that we had?
Yeah, that's all the ones we got right now.
Man, listen, let's go ahead and drop it. I want to drop this yummy. I'm gonna give y'all one more opportunity because y'all, just for our people tonight, we got a promo code. First of all, this thing is way more worth way more than $397 a month. Y'all don't understand. We spend a lot personally on
And we
personal
cut it. We
development.
cut it to the 197.
And we cut that thing to $197 a month for the Harley Initiated family.
Yeah.
You talk about a therapy budget of $197, and you talk that's life changing at $197 a month. Yeah, that's a grocery bill a month to feed your soul. All right. So make sure y'all go ahead and tap in with these amazing talents, experts, coaches that we have brought here on the platform.
And some people waiting. They just wait until they finish the show, and they're gonna go ahead and get down the program. But we already got some people that's joined the program, so that's what I'm rocking with. That's the most important thing. Once we have some level of like countdown, we can like show like how many people is joining because it's going great. But
It is.
yeah, we got to figure that out. We got to figure that
I
out.
need
Though.
my phone. I can tell you.
It is. Well, listen, guys, listen. I first of all, I want to thank you, ladies, again for coming
Thank
on here
you,
for the
thank
second
you.
time, again consecutively, putting the audience on game because y'all never disappoint.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode, y'all. Y'all know Monday and Wednesday night, every night at 8 p.m. It is happening. Make sure you join our membership, our family, so you can get involved in this amazing conversation and this community that we are curating here literally every Monday and Wednesday night. And y'all better not leave this conversation without subscribing to this YouTube channel, y'all.
Mm.
All right.
I agree with that. And guys, we're going to be talking about this yummy membership really every episode because like I told you, we are going to be working with Dr. Nicole and Crystal for the long run and making sure that the program, well, I mean, we already know it's going to deliver.
Yeah.
That's one thing we don't got to worry about. But we're going to be making sure that in case there's any other things that I needed, we making sure we communicate that to them because they are going to take care of all of the ladies in our community. And I know you're ready to go, but I think because it's just a lot of comments in here. I think some ladies were concerned about what ages. You know, we got some young women who are like, hey, I don't know if this will fit me. And then we got some women that are over 50 and even 60 that are like, hey, is this for me? And I even seen a couple of young ladies come in and say, hey, well, I'm a single mom considering getting back into dating. How can I be sure that it fits me? So just to clarify before we go, is this for women of all age ranges or what's the situation?
Yeah. It's multi-generational, right?
I like that.
But we want you to be grown, right?
Yeah.
No disrespect, because we're having grown girl conversation. So, we want to make sure that you're at least in your mid-20s, right? So that it's not going to flood you with stuff that you're just not ready for yet. So we usually like to say, if you're around 24 and up, we good to go.
And we have women in their 50s, even in their 60s that have come through the program. And everybody says that it has been transformational in their life. And for us, it's so powerful to see the lights come on. The lights get turned up, and the power of being in community, we learn from one another. And it's so powerful when you have a safe space to share, some of the challenges and obstacles that you are facing. And you hear from another sister across the world, across the nation, that's like, yes, sis, I've been there. This is what I did. This is what worked for me. You're not crazy. It's okay. You can overcome this. And then follow up with you.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay.
Right.
It's powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, what's also powerful is this chat. Like, just seeing everybody. We really like everybody's in here telling each other good graces,
I
Yeah.
love that.
telling everybody they love each other,
Yes,
telling
sir.
everybody
Aw.
good night. It's really incredible what y'all doing in here. And I love what everybody that's literally on here every Monday and Wednesday night. Just trust me, we truly appreciate you. We got so much that we want for you guys, so much in store. This is one of the major things that we've put in place. But let me tell y'all better join this community. But stay tuned and stay tapped in with our community, because trust me, we got so much more coming for you guys. But listen, thank you again, guys, both of you and the
Thank
Hardly
you.
Initiated family, for tuning into another episode of Hardly Initiated. We are out.